This is really the 3 things that I do every single year to make sure that I achieve the goals that I set, and the way that I think about the process of setting goals. The first is spending the time to actually sit down and think about it. Our lives are filled with cell phones, with distractions, with screens. A lot of people are not good at sitting in silence and just thinking. I was driving in the car with my wife. I was just kind of thinking more about my goals and everything and what I want to achieve next year. And I asked my wife, I was like, hey, what are your goals for next year? She was like, I don't want to talk about this right now. And it's just like, okay, well, like, if you don't want to talk about it right now, or you don't want to think about it right now, like, when are you going to think about it? Because if you don't spend the time to actually think through the process of the person that you want to become next year, how you want things to go, then you kind of just stay the same every year. I'm a big believer in less is more when it comes to things like goal setting, putting less restrictions on what it needs to be. Some people will say you need to have an athletic goal, a financial goal, a spiritual goal, an emotional goal. I think that the less kind of boundaries you can put on what your goals are or what you want to achieve, the better. Don't be afraid when you're setting goals to go really big. I think that sometimes you should have some really unrealistic goals. Don't be afraid to dream. And that's a lot of what this spending time thinking about your goals is dreaming. While you're setting your goals for the new year, it's also a good idea to reflect on the past year and what happened. There may be some goals that you had this year that you didn't achieve, and that's okay. Your job is to decide whether you want to continue to carry over that goal into the new year, or whether it is something that you are ready to move away from. In that period where you had that as your goal and where you're working really hard towards it, that is part of your growth as a human. It doesn't mean that just because you didn't achieve it, it was a waste of time or that it was worthless. Since we're talking about looking back on your goals for last year, the goals that I had from 2024 were to finish a marathon, to complete writing a book, to expand Seath's product line. This was a wrist wrap company that we had. To get out of debt, to earn a silver play button, to lead my gym, Verity, to 200 members, and to help 1,000 people online. So I achieved some of these, and some of them I didn't. The marathon, I thankfully did finish. I didn't have a great time. That was a super cool experience that I honestly never want to do again. It was not the most fun. I'm just not a distance runner. So it was tough. PR'd my half marathon, but yeah, don't really want to do that one again. I'm working on a technique manual. I got lost in like the publishing process and trying to figure out how I was actually going to make what was my idea into something tangible and real in the world. I did end up publishing a book, so I made a journal. This is, you can get it on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to grab one, but this is my journal that I write in every single day. The top half, it has the date, it has lines for writing whatever you want for that day. And then it has a little dot matrix at the bottom. The front page says your words have the power to shape your reality. And this was just a really cool thing that I did this year. Journaling has been a huge part of my life. So I'm really big on journaling. I think it is an excellent practice to get into. We had started a wrist wrap company. I had started this with my mom and my wife. I just don't have the bandwidth to do as much as I want to do in the world. My theme for this year is how do I do less in order to do more? I would love to pick this back up in the future, but for now, it was something that I didn't achieve in 2024, and I won't be putting it on my list for the new year. I initially started making content on the internet to try and help grow my gym, and it was something that turned into something else, which has been a blessing. I am very happy with the community that I have at this gym. I'm very fortunate to have great coaches, and that is one aspect of it that I never want to change. We are doing very well. We're doing much better than we were last year. I want it to be what it is, and I want to help as many people as I can around the world. And one of the big goals that I had for 2024, which I honestly didn't know if I would achieve, was to earn a silver play button from YouTube. Look what finally came. We did it. Thank you so much for everyone that is subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. I understand how rare this is, and it is something that I don't take for granted. Moving on to step 2 in what I think is important to actually achieve your goals, and what I think is important when you're setting goals, is to make your goals a priority. So what do I mean to make your goals a priority? I mean you need to make them visible, and you need to make them unavoidable. I use a little app on my phone. It is called Smart Tasks. It's actually a task app, but I have the goals that I want to achieve on a little widget, and they just pop up on my phone. So every time I'm swiping through my phone, I'm reminded of my goals. One thing that I am going to do for this year is use a lock screen. I'm basically gonna write down my goals, and then I'll take a photo of it and then set it as the background image and the lock screen image for my phone. That way, every time I pick up my phone, which is a lot, unfortunately, I will be reminded of what I'm trying to achieve. When I lived alone, I would put sticky notes with my goals on my mirror. So every morning when I woke up and brushed my teeth, look in the mirror and you see those goals right there. You wanna constantly have reminders in your life of what you're trying to achieve. If there are specific things that you want to do that are going to need to have time blocked off for it, schedule that time in your calendar. You know, from 6 to 7 a.m., Monday through Friday, is gym time. Block it off, put it in your calendar. And that'll make it so much more likely that you actually take those steps to achieve what you want from it. And step 3, which I think is maybe the most important part to making your goals and your dreams a reality, is make it public to make it real. So that's what this video is for me. This is me saying what my goals are out loud to the public, to hold myself accountable. After you have thought about your goals, you've set some goals for the new year, you know what you want to achieve, you have made your goals a priority, you've made them unavoidable, then you tell someone, tell everyone. You can post on your social media, you can tell your significant other, tell your brother, tell whoever, but having someone else that knows what you're trying to achieve, especially if it's big and scary, you know, they may not believe you, but it makes it so much harder for you to not achieve that goal, because you have this like implied accountability now to what you said. This can be a very powerful thing from an accountability standpoint. If you don't want to post it on social media, that's fine. You don't have to post on social media, but I recommend that you tell someone that you're close to what your goals are, and it'll really help you achieve them. So my goals for 2025, the first one on my list is to buy a new house. I have 2 kids. I have 4 dogs, 2 St. Bernards, and we are living in a 1,200 square foot townhouse, which is just, we're running out of room. So this has been a great starter home, but we're ready to move on to something bigger. I'd like to have a yard where I can let my dogs out. I'd like to have a garage where I could potentially have a little home gym and make content in. My kids are bunked up in one room, so they're ready for their own rooms. My daughter's 7 and she's really sick of living with her 4-year-old brother every day. So we could maybe last one more year in this house, but I would really like to buy a new house in the spring. Second is I want to publish my technique manual. So I wrote maybe 25% of the content for it for last year, and I kind of got stuck in the publishing process and trying to figure out how to actually make this thing a reality. I learned how to use InDesign, which is the book formatting program. So now, because I have the experience of trying to do it last year and failing, I think that I have what it takes to put it through all the way this year, and my goal is to get it published and in your hands by next Christmas. Last year, I created an online community on School, which is called Technique Team. And this is where I do all of my coaching. It's where I have all of my programs and my progressions, my process for helping people go from beginner to RX and to, achieve all of the skills and everything that is needed to get there. This is something that I feel like will help a lot of people. If you are interested in joining, I'll leave a link in the description where you can check it out. I would get in now while the price is low. And my last goal is to make one long video every single week. So my goal is 50 videos for the year. I would obviously like to pump that up to 2 a week, but I don't want to overextend myself. Like I said, I do have a lot of things going on. I really want to be seen as a an expert in CrossFit technique, but also as like an entertaining figure on YouTube where you want to come back and watch my videos. So if there's something you want to see, if there's, something I can make content on, please let me know. I'm all for ideas and whatever you want, but I'm just going to keep pumping stuff out all year long. It has been a crazy ride on YouTube, and I'm excited for the new year. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you actually use these things to help you not just set your goals for the new year, but actually achieve them and make your dreams a reality, because that's what this is all about. Thanks again for being on this journey with me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you in the next one.